Hey, so I just wanted to pop on and give you a little follow up to the short video that I made yesterday. I'm mostly just shooting and uploading to just sort of keep material going up into the algorithm and keep myself in flow. Um, I do still want to build more skill and do a little bit more sophisticated work down the line. But in the meantime, you have me and my thoughts and me willing to share. And because I touched on gratitude yesterday, it just sort of came up for me. Um, Probably because I'm dealing with some affect, negative, dark affect, which I don't mind sharing because I think it's something that's very human, and we're living in kind of dark times, and I don't want to be a disingenuous person who, tries to put themselves out there as somebody that knows how to be healthy, but can't be healthy. So I don't mind sharing that I struggle. I struggle to make myself do all of the things that I talk about in my book, in my when anybody asks me for any advice or encouragement or intervention. I keep coming back to, and the reason I wrote the book called The Seven Sacraments of Health, because I think that will only goes so far. Like having determination and will, those things are important, and we want to build them and develop them. But maybe if we reframe our approach to health and what I call the seven sacraments of health um, as sacraments rather than discipline, as something sacramental, sacred, and self-nurturing, rather than something that is borders on self-punishing and or something that is a way of determining merit. So I want to talk about gratitude. I'm going to keep this short, but this is, let me show you just a page from my book, and I've put the link, and I'll put another link on most of my videos to the book that you can order from Amazon. And yes, I have issues with Amazon and the way they treat their workers, but we're all stuck in this capitalist, for me, a hellscape. For some people, it's the greatest thing that ever was. However you view it, we all live in it, and there's really no escape. So I have, and Amazon gives self-published authors a great opportunity to get your work out there. They don't do any advertising or marketing for you, so my book is kind of just sitting there. I've sold, I don't know, maybe 20 copies or something, so I'm definitely not making money. I put a lot more money into it than I'm getting out of it. But hopefully somebody out there can have a lifestyle change, experience a lifestyle change based on it, and connect with me. But I want to talk again about gratitude. So gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. This is a quote from Melody Beattie, who is I'm not sure if she's still living, a psychotherapist. I believe she was in the Carl Rogers School of Psychotherapy, which just focuses on unconditional positive regard for the client. Yeah, so I'm just going to read a little bit from my page. Gratitude is generally conceived of as an emotional response to actions from others or conditions in our lives that benefit us in some tangible way. But positive psychology employs the concept of gratitude in a deeper and more active, engaged manner. Gratitude is an action, attitude, or discipline. It is a practice of mindfulness that focuses awareness on the things or attributes that we have instead of those that we believe we lack. Gratitude, the word, according to Hode 1993, an etymologist, derives from the Sanskrit root gruta, to give praise or to be thankful. It is a core practice in all spiritual disciplines, and poets and prophets encourage its practice in secular and religious life alike. To practice gratitude rather than necessarily feeling it is where the discipline and mindfulness enter. In other words, you engage it, you practice it. You may not feel it, and this is where I totally get anyone struggling with it. I have such a tendency to go down dark paths. I mentioned it yesterday, and it's just the truth. And some of that may be biochemical, but we know that cognition affects our biochemistry. And I was listening to somebody, I think it was Rick Hansen, talking with his son, Forrest Hansen, whose channel's on YouTube you might want to check out, that engaging gratitude actually does seem to have an effect free of confounding factors. Because they've done studies where people are engaged in gratitude before being exposed to, for instance, a virus introduced to their nose or something. And it just seems to be that even if they had very much the same lifestyle factors and comorbidities and diagnoses, that those who were engaged in being led through great gratitude practices had more immune response, a greater immune response, so more resilience on the immune front. And as we know, gratitude and spirituality also play a factor in resilience, i.e. recovery from trauma. So these are things that are fairly well established, and I don't have a load of research right in front of me, but it's easy enough to look up. So I don't just want to directly read, because that gets just really dry and boring. So, but I hope that let's see if there's something. One of the things that I will read to you is, the sacrament of gratitude is so integral to spiritual traditions, as mentioned before, that it permeates scripture, ritual, and religious or canonical music. When the Israelites crossed the Sea of Reeds, a song of praise and thanksgiving was sung by Marian, the sister of Moses. Biblical psalms and proverbs are filled with passages of praise and thanksgiving, as are all of the sutras and the song of the psalms of David, etc. In the tradition of G.I. Gurdjieff, there is a concept of debt owed to nature that we can never repay for our existence. So gratitude should just basically be the basis of our day, just gratitude for being. And I know what it's like to be in the place where honestly you can't even be grateful for waking up. And as I discuss further on here, I do mention in my text, there will be times when life will feel overwhelming and tragic. For those times, I still encourage a practice of gratitude for what this time may teach us, the help it may bring us. But I do want to acknowledge that some of life's greatest hardships and grief can carry us beneath a dark tide. I encourage, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, my people, anyone who is bereft of grace, who is truly forlorn and lost, to please seek help from friends, family, counselors, clergy, or even health professionals. Maybe especially health professionals if you have a trusted doctor, and that doesn't mean that you have to go throw yourself, onto a psych medication, but that, if you are so dark and depressed that you can't get out of bed, there could be other things going on as well. There could be thyroid issues, there could be other things that you need to have checked. So always check with your physician and or clergy, family, if you are that far down the rabbit hole. It is important in my experience to recognize that positive psychology and life-affirming health and wellness practices rely on a foundation of basic health and freedom from trauma. In times of deep duress, we need the help of others. We need community, and we may need serious professional intervention to be restored to a baseline of health. There is no shame in this, nor need for false stoicism or feelings of inadequacy. I do not know anybody who has never hit bottom. And all the affirmation in the world cannot fix what we ourselves cannot see. So, that is just my disclaimer and my encouragement of seeking help and support to anyone who's in a truly dark place. But in the meantime, one of the things that we know help is gratitude. So if you're just sort of struggling, try it. Just try it. And there are so many ways, to engage gratitude. So I do want to mention we are hardwired to perceive threat and act quickly to avoid or mitigate it so that we can survive and pass on our genes. So that's what psychologists call a negativity bias in our consciousness. So just so you know, if you're like me and you tend to be like, doom and gloom, it's just kind of part of the way we're wired. You don't need to fault yourself for it. You just we can retrain these cognitions with these thoughts, and one of the things that you learn in psychology and cognitive theory is affect behavior cognition. Sorry. But I kind of like to flip those and suggest that we intervene with our cognition first, our behavior second, and that will change the way we feel. I think that's pretty straightforward, and ABC, but I don't know, CBA for me. So start working on retraining our thoughts, and gratitude is one of the greatest ways to do it. What is it today that you're grateful for? And one of the things that my book does talk about, and I am doing a little bit of marketing here, of course I am, but the 7 sacraments are very interactive. So one of the things that I'm grateful for instance, is my body. I have a whole, full, healthy body. And how can I offer gratitude to the body. I can offer gratitude through movement. Movement tells my body that I care for it, I honor it, I delight in it, and I will maintain it. Also, food, healthy food, or heck, maybe an unhealthy food, and that's okay too. A bite of chocolate, a Snickers bar, some of your favorite ice cream, something. But I mean, there's a whole psychology of disordered eating that I'm not qualified to go into, but we know it's a problem area for many of us. But I really do think that food is the central mystery of life, and if you need a little bit of comfort food, I don't think that that's a problem, unless you have a serious eating disorder, and that's something you need to be working with a professional about. But one of the things that I don't remember where I learned this, but crunchy foods actually do some kind of neural stimulation, so that's positive. So I don't recommend plowing through a pound bag of Fritos, but maybe a handful, or some good organic popcorn, freshly popped popcorn at home, small things. And then that can also bring you back to gratitude, being grateful that you have food at home. You have the ability to grab some food or a snack and chew and eat basics. Have you ever had a cavity? I mean, we've all had a cavity. Do you remember what it's like when you get that fixed and suddenly you can eat again? Yeah. You ever have a migraine and you take a good medication and it goes away and you're like, oh, thank God. So sometimes when I'm feeling pretty dark down the rabbit hole, I just focus on basically that. I am free of pain. I am able to walk, and it just has a positive effect throughout your whole body. Your immune system, your thoughts are rewired, and it just seems to give us back a little bit of ourselves. So I just wanted to touch on the benefits of gratitude, and talk about it as a practice rather than a, pardon the rhyme, but a platitude, because being grateful, it can sound like an empty platitude coming from people and just being, yeah, no, I get that, and nobody likes to hear that when they're suffering. But if you can engage that, it will help you. It will give you at least something to begin to climb out of the hole with. And I think that then that is sort of the beginning of connecting with all the other parts. Community, movement, mindfulness is sort of the root. I am here now and I am grateful to be in a body that doesn't hurt. And if it does hurt, well, at least I'm able to know it and seek help, and on and on. It's a practice. So I am just encouraging you, because I know how hard I struggle against really not being grateful, forgetting to be grateful, and dropping into comparison and lack. And it's just something that I really have to work hard against. So I thought I would share a little bit more about gratitude today. And entering into September, that's going to be a big one for me, I think. So, again, thank you for anyone who is here stopping by. And maybe as we engage gratitude and the other sacraments of health, it will lead us further and further into joy. Hail and blessed be.